All right, thank you, Buzel on data science. Next up, we have VDH Jedis.
Thanks, Tony. Apparently, we're not very good about communicating our name. It's the VDH Data Jedis. We don't claim to be true Jedis. So.
That's this gentleman here.
All right. Just a sec. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tim, and this is Anoop. We're part of the VDH Data Jedis. Help if I drove the right computer. So we decided to focus on a little bit different cross-section of this population. We heard yesterday, has been reinforced that, addiction is a serious problem and it's hard to overcome by yourself. The majority of the team that was here for VDH had the pleasure and honor to be a part of the Population Health Summit that occurred earlier this year, where stakeholders from across the Commonwealth came together and really identified how to combat this epidemic. And one of the greatest things that we heard repeated over and over and over was there's tons of resources, but how do you get people to those resources? Because they're just not aware of them or other gaps in communication. So we went with the approach of knowledge is power. And we decided that we wanted to create an app that would help try to inform people of what their risk was, and then try to connect them with those local resources to help them change the direction. So our solution was we developed an app, but we created an adjusted rate risk model that identifies a user's likelihood of death associated with opioid use relative to other localities in Virginia. And yes, I had to look at the monitor because I could not remember that entire string of words. We included in that model age and sex, and we were looking at the time span from 99 through 2016 to be as encompassing as possible. Additionally, we wanted to then provide those, as I mentioned, those users with that group of resources around them. And finally, deliver that app in a solution that people are familiar with, which is the phone in their hand. That's how everyone, no one leaves the house without it, right? So I'm going to show you some screenshots. I have a live working version here on the computer, but I swear no one's going to see it out there. So this is what it looks like. So we have a splash screen where the user comes in. They're going to enter their sex, age group, and local zip code by clicking on the bottom communities. It's going to take you and show you what the risks for what do we have? Opioid prescriptions and substance abuse for your locality based upon the zip code you enter. The next one across of risks is going to then rank and show you what your risk of opioid-related death is in your community. Thank you. So again, this is going to realistically give the users a score of low, medium, or high. Relative, though, to help inform. Ultimately, the last page is the resources tab, though, where they're able to identify. Right now, we read in treatment centers and pharmacies. The intent, obviously, is you continue to make this an extensible resource and just add additional ones in as we ran out of time, flat out. So challenges I thought we would present this, and it's the same things everyone said, is data. The level of granularity makes this really, really hard with public data to really address individuals' risks and apply a personal model. So we have the data as opposed to many of the groups here. So we're able to look at and apply the sex into that as well as some additional things and show that in aggregate, this is not a risk for identifying persons, but it helps us target that population more effectively. Additional time would have been awesome. We could have done a lot more, but we got a product out at the end of the day. More community resources obviously enhance the value of this overall. And ultimately, we thought we want a social media campaign to go along with this to let people know, here is this resource. You want this on your phone, and you can use it. Those are the data sources we ultimately ended up using in this, just FYI. Now, and I was threatened, as I said, that if I did not come up here and show you that we actually had a working resource that...
He didn't move his phone here, it's just the software that he has.
It does work. You can go through it, and I love that there is sadly so we selected Buchanan County for some random reason, drew them out of a hat, but there's one treatment center in that locality, so a deficit of resources. So, we like to think that hopefully people would find this valuable and connect them with those resources to help them stop using opioids. Thank you very much.
Did I need to go back?
Yes, don't forget about Darth Vader here. All right. We don't want that bad, force over here for the next presentation.